Hi, welcome to our new TV show on Felixstowe TV, the Mrs. Manson Sessions. We're going to be featuring local artists, so bands, punk bands, rock bands, solo artists, you name it, we want to show them, and then we'll do a little interview with each of them and find out a bit about them, a bit about their songs. And this week we've got, for our first artist, we've got Gussie Stafford, and we're going to be hearing one of her songs in a moment, and we'll be having a little chat with her as well. So we'll go for your first song then, shall we?
Okay.
Here we go.
No, you don't get to call back in my life, and no, you won't get another bloody try. I will not be letting you back in. You played with me to get under her skin, and you said we should just go with the flow, and I was more than fine with that, you know. But to never hear back from you again, you played with me to get my best friend. No, you don't get another bloody try. Go and mess with someone else's life. You should feel ashamed of yourself. Was this just another cry for help? Ooh. Well, ain't it funny how you came crawling back? Well, I'm sorry, honey, but you weren't that great anyway. No, you don't get another bloody try. Go and mess with someone else's life. You should feel ashamed of yourself. Was this so just another cry for help? No. Ooh, 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 ah, no, ah, da 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 da.
So, hi Gussie, and welcome to Felixstowe TV and Mrs. Manson Sessions, and thanks for being our first person on and our guinea pig. So, your first song, just tell me a little bit about that. It was a beautiful song.
Oh, thank you. Well, first off, thank you for having me here, because obviously we wouldn't have this if you hadn't have asked me. The first song is called No, and basically it's about when you get talking to someone and you know them from one of your friends, and then turns out that they're just using you to get your friend jealous. It's pretty heavy, really, but that's what it's about. And then they come calling back to your friend and you're saying no, you can't come back. You're not allowed. Go. So that's what that's about.
So they're quite personal sort of songs.
Yeah,
really. You write about your own experiences.
Yeah, either about me or my friends, the people around me. So they all mean something, all the songs I've written. They're not just I pick someone and...
So would you say there's anybody particularly that inspires you?
There are so many people that inspire me. I can't just mention one, but definitely there's so many people. Everyone I have on my iTunes.
And so when you're writing a song, because obviously you're doing your own material, your own songs, which is brilliant. Do you have a particular way that you always do every song, or is it kind of varied, or how do you go about it?
It kind of varies. To begin with, like, usually I have an idea, or a friend will say something to me and I'll think that would be really good to write about, or I'll go through something and I'll be like, I need to get this out. So typically I will go and sit at the piano or the guitar, and I will just start strumming out some chords or something that sound to do with the mood that I'm feeling. and then I'll put some lyrics in. But sometimes if it's like I've got an idea for these words, I need to get them out, I will just write, and I'll just write a whole song, and then I'll go in and put the the backing music to it.
So would you say are you always scribbling down and always coming up with things then?
I think I counted my notebooks that I have the other day, and it was like 37.
Oh really?
Just notebooks just around the house. They're not all full or anything. There'll be random pages. You'll go 2 pages and there'll be an idea, and then you go, and then there'll be like 5 together, and then you'll skip out. You'll be writing, and all of a sudden I'll come across a song that I wrote a couple of years back, and I'll be like, oh, I should work on that.
So when you come to doing an album, you'll have plenty of material to choose from.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Brilliant. And right, well we'll move on to the second song by Gussie now, and here it goes.
Okay. And you said you wouldn't leave like the rest did, and you said you were different. I guess I was just stupid. I trusted you right from the start. I trusted you, but you broke my heart. I built my woes up after the last time, but you knocked them down one by one. Yeah, you did. I was stupid, and that'll be the last time. I was stupid. That'll be. And they say to keep busy, and they say not to cry. How am I supposed to keep my cool when you left me with goodbye? Yeah, you left me with goodbye. Yeah, it's funny how I poured out my heart to you, told you all the secrets that no one else knew, showed you all my scars, well, they will never go. And it's true, but the strangers have given me more love than you have ever shown. And they say to keep busy, and they say not to cry. But how am I supposed to keep my cool when you left me with goodbye? Yeah, you left me with goodbye. Oh, and they say to keep busy, and they say not to cry. But how am I supposed to keep my cool when you left me with goodbye? Yeah, you left me with goodbye.
Okay, so we're back with Gussie Stafford, and that was the second song of the evening for the first session of the Manson show. And so like to fill us in a little bit more detail about that song?
Okay, so that song was called Goodbye. I wrote it about 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half, and basically I swear all of my songs are about relationships of people around me. This is about when you get into a relationship with someone and you lay yourself bare. Everything's on the table. And they promise that they won't leave and they won't hurt you like others have before, but they end up doing exactly that. So this is just basically a teenage angst song about how someone said they weren't going to leave and they did. That's basically it.
Yeah, it's kind of not so good in real life, but then it gives you something to write about.
Definitely.
You didn't have these experiences.
Bad for the heart, good for the art.
Very good. So have you thought about kind of being signed by a record label or anything like that? Is there any kind of progress from that?
So I would love to be signed, to be able to project my music on many different levels and be touring and just showing everyone what I can do. That is me, that's my dream, that's what I want to be doing. A couple of months back, a scout, like I had a bit of interest, a scout from an American place messaged me and was like, could you please ring this number and tell them that I talked to you. And my sister lives in America, so I got her to ring, and basically they wanted me to go over there and to pay them to pay them to produce me. And obviously I'm not going to fly over to America to pay for someone to produce me. I'm doing it my own way at the moment. So
yeah. I mean, other things will come along, I'm sure.
Yeah,
It'll take long
definitely.
until you sort of get discovered.
But yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah. So I mean, the other thing, we were having a chat earlier, and the other thing I was mentioning is a lot of people want to bring out their own music now, do this pledge thing where their fans sort of put in money for them to record. I suppose for you that would be something further down the line, maybe.
Yeah. The whole pledging thing, I would never ask anyone for money. If they wanted to give it to me, and that had that much faith in me, and said, look, go and do an album, we will buy it, we'll buy it, go out and do this, I would, of course, then, because they wanted me to, I would do it. I mean, I'd love to do an album, that'd be great, but obviously with the whole money thing as well, but I would never ask, I would never put it on my thing and be like, I've made an account, pledge money to me.
Yeah,
it's begging.
So what do you, moving on to things like the X Factor, because I would imagine you probably get it all the time of people saying to you, why don't you go on the X Factor?
Yes.
Obviously there's different people have different thoughts about the X Factor. I mean, it's a massive hit show, but personally I see it as a bit of a destroyer of talent and music. How do you feel about that?
I wouldn't go on it, personally. I don't like the idea of it, the fact that you go on, you have, I think it's 4 pre-auditions before you get to see the judges, and your first one, they could turn around and say, we don't want you to do your own song. Lots of people have had that, and of course they're singer-songwriters, so they're like, I'd rather not do a cover, but they tell you that you can't do your own songs sometimes, and I would, that's all I want to do, so.
Well, that's what's going to, if you do well out of this, which I think you will, that's what you're going to get known for, is doing your own songs, not other people's, isn't it?
I mean, at the moment I do a lot of covers because people like to hear it. They like familiar stuff, and that's awesome. But I'm at the stage now where I'm playing my own music all the time.
You're kind of working your own stuff into your set, and then people will get familiar with that, won't they?
And it's great because you ask them if they like it, and they say,
that's all good. Well, what we've heard so far this evening has been brilliant.
Thank you. But no, I wouldn't go on it. I don't like the idea of how fixed it is.
I think that's it. It's, it's purely entertainment thing, isn't it?
It's not really about talent that much.
No.
I mean, some of the people have done very well, but a lot of them are one-hit wonders, and that scares me.
I think if you can make it on your own, it's probably the better way to go, really, isn't it?
Definitely.
So we're going to now move on to our third song of the evening from Gussie, and here we go. Hope you like it.
How's she doing, that other girl? Have you told her that she's your world? Do you love her the way you loved me? Have you told her what you said last week? You know, I hope you're happy now, and I hope that she finds out, and I might just help her out. That other girl. Baby, you and me together, I thought you were the one. I thought we'd have more happy days, but to you it was just fun. And as days got on, you got more distant from me. You said you was hanging out with your bro, didn't know he was a she. Oh, and I hope you're happy now. And I hope that she finds out, and I might just help her out. No, that other girl. Do you take her to the same places you took me? Do you text her like you used to text me? I bet you even called her baby. Oh, and I hope you're happy now. And I hope that she finds out, 'cause I might just help her out. That she finds out, 'cause I might just help her out. That other girl.
Okay, so welcome back to Felixstowe TV, and we've got Gussie Stafford with us here this evening. And she's been doing some songs for us which are really brilliant. I'm sure you'll agree with that. And also I've heard that Gussie is starting a band as well. So
yes.
what's happening there then?
Started. We've basically, I think it's nearly 2 weeks now. Me, Kurt Cully and Niall Johnson decided that we wanted to make a band. Kurt wrote on my Facebook wall one day, do you want to jam? And of course I love it. I love playing with people, so I'm just like, you can come to mine, we'll make some music. And we did, and we worked out that we worked really well together. Brilliant. And that was great. And I've never really had that well before. So then he said, well, I'd like to take this further, we should do some gigs together. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, only problem is we don't really want to be playing that much while, like, playing guitar and stuff that much while we're singing, because it really takes it away. And it does, it's really hard to play and sing at the same time sometimes. So I said, well, I know this really great guitarist called Niall, I'll give him a text. So I texted him and he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. And we all met together, and we decided that this was a good idea. And we're called Small Town Faith, and you can check us out on Facebook.
Okay, yeah, I'll look at that.
And we're just starting gigs and stuff at the moment.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's great.
So how will that affect the songwriting and everything? Because are you going to continue doing your solo stuff, I guess?
That's the thing I'm really set on. I will continue my solo stuff, definitely, equally with the band. So at the moment it's just getting the priorities right. But with the whole songwriting thing, it's different. It's a lot different, because when you're writing other people, they have different ideas from you. And we're lucky because we work really well together, but sometimes there'll be a lyric or two and we'll say, oh, I like that, and then they'll be like, oh, but you could switch it with this, and I'll be like, hadn't thought of that. But it's a lot different because everyone works differently, but all together it works really well.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it can be really good having other people to bounce ideas off, because sometimes you've got an idea and you're not quite sure where to go with it, and somebody else comes up with something, you think, brilliant, and that kind of finishes it off. Whereas I suppose if you've got some ideas and other people are saying, well, I'm not so keen on that, you can use them for your solo work.
Yeah, definitely. Like, the boys push me a lot further. Like, there'll be something that I'm not quite so comfortable doing, and they'll say, no, you're good at this, you need to, like with my vocal range, I don't really go that mental with it, but they really push me. Right, okay. And not so much that it's going to hurt.
Something a little bit different.
But yeah, it's definitely a different sound from my solo work. It's more upbeat.
So when are we likely to hear something? You said you were about to do some gigs and everything.
Yeah, well, basically we did the Macmillan Coffee Morning last week, down at KW Autos, and that was really good.
Oh, right.
So that was our first thing that we'd done. So basically, if you want to check us out and book us, feel free.
Bit of a plug there.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, well, I mean, thanks ever so much for coming in and doing the songs tonight. It's been brilliant, and
You're welcome.
hopefully we can get the band in.
Yeah, that would be
well,
great. That would be lovely.
So watch this space, and thanks again to Gussie Stafford for the music tonight, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for having me. If you look around yourself, everywhere you go, you'll see people in the streets, people you know. They were so popular, didn't have a care. And then you see them begging for money. What happened there? Times change as people do. Treat people how they should treat you. And I know that things get hard. Just don't stop being who you are. Walking down the street, see you wave and you smile at the people you meet. What seems like madness to you, see it may save a life or maybe a few.